We're blessed to have such a storied history in athletics. The uniforms and haircuts change, but the happy faces, brotherhood, and the passion for sport is constant. Good evening, everyone. On behalf of St. Michael's College School, the athletics department coaches and staff, and the Brazilian Fathers, I welcome you to our 2020 Virtual Athletic Awards Banquet. Tonight, we will be honoring all of our student athletes while recognizing their team and individual accomplishments. Although we cannot share a meal together in our traditional banquet format, we hope that the pivot to this digital platform will be just as exciting and engaging as you enjoy it with your families in your own homes. Before we start the program, I would like to salute our spring sport athletes. We were very excited to see you compete this term, and although we share in your disappointment, we look forward to a time when school sports return and we can again see you in action. To the graduating class, we thank you for the dedication and commitment to all of your teams and to the athletics program as a whole. We thank you for the tremendous leadership you have displayed and the way you have represented yourselves, St. Michael's College School, by wearing the M with pride, class, and humility. We look forward to following your successes as you move on to the next chapter in your lives, but we eagerly anticipate your return visits to campus in the coming years. This evening, we are honored to have a very diverse and accomplished collection of sports athletes and personalities to present the awards to our worthy recipients. From Vancouver to New Brunswick, from Calgary to Miami, and everywhere in between, we thank our distinguished guests for their time and support of this event. I again offer my many thanks to the student athletes, our talented and committed coaching and support staffs, and I hope you all enjoy this wonderful evening. Good health to you and your families.
In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, Amen. Today we are gathered as a community to celebrate our accomplished athletes. This has been a very challenging year, with many of our team seasons being canceled. However, this is just another example of how our student athletes have displayed resilience while overcoming adversity. From torn muscles, broken bones, and mental roadblocks, our student athletes have demonstrated repeatedly what it means to bring goodness, discipline, and knowledge on the court, rink, and field. Our student athletes exemplify perseverance, grit, and determination while embodying true sportsmanship with class and dignity. Let us pray. Loving God, bless our student athletes, their parents, our coaches, staff, athletic therapists, and volunteers. We ask for Saint Sebastian, the patron saint of athletes, to continue to watch over our students, and Saint Michael the Archangel to continue to protect them every day. Amen. In the name of the Father, Son, Holy Spirit, Amen.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us for the online debut of our athletic banquet. I'm Father Andrew Leung, President of St. Michael's College School. As a Brazilian priest who previously taught at a school, it always gives me great joy to see all the different ways our students challenge themselves and persevere. Whether that be in the physics lab, playing an instrument, or throwing the deciding rock in curling. Speaking of which, curling made a comeback to St. Michael's this year in an official way, and as a fan of this sport, I was excited to see it happen. I was even able to attend a few practices and matches to see our boys in action on the rink. Physical education and athletics is an important part of the life of our school. Whether athlete or supporter, coach, athletic therapist, office and maintenance, or parents, intramural or competitive, athletics impacts many people in our school community. Above all, sport is key piece in the Brazilian model of education, which teaches the mind, the body, and the spirit. Congratulations to all of our athletes and the small army of people behind them who help them strive, learn, and grow as young men. Thank you.
During a year of unique and impactful firsts, my rookie year as the principal here at St. Michael's College School, I am excited to embark on yet another, my first athletic banquet here with you. Sport has been a daily fixture in my life ever since I can remember. As an athlete, I enjoyed all sports, playing football, basketball, hockey, even some tennis and golf. I graduated with a university degree in physical and health education, coaching many sports along the way. I supported my 3 children in their own sporting exploits. These days, I still tinker a bit, playing some hockey regularly in the winter, some competitive tennis in the summer, and endurance cycling whenever I can. For me, the deep and meaningful lessons that participation in sport teaches are powerful and timeless. In many ways, it's a microcosm of life. We all try out. Sometimes we make it, sometimes we don't, but we always try again. The work, the striving, the goal setting, facing and overcoming challenges, solving problems along the way are all part of being an athlete, a coach, and even a fan. As a member of a team environment, it's almost always about being part of something bigger than ourselves. There is no I in team, as they say, and this is the very root of what our Catholic faith teaches, the selflessness of Christ, and the essence of the goodness, discipline, and knowledge on which St. Michael's College School is based. Gentlemen, congratulations on all your efforts in the classroom and in all the fields of sport. To our parents, coaches, teachers, and mentors, thank you for being their educators, their life coaches, and teaching them lessons that will serve them always.
Hi everybody, it's Cassie Campbell-Pascal here, a 2-time Olympic gold medalist in women's ice hockey and a broadcaster on Hockey Night in Canada. And I just want to give a shout out to all the students at St. Michael's College who continue to strive for excellence in not only education, but also in sports. Continue trying to reach new heights.
Phenomenal start for Aaron Brown, but the closing speed of Andre DeGrasse is absolutely incredible when he shifts it into high gear over the final 20 meters long.
Now, il y en a pas joint Brown, mais tout juste à la fin, voici Brown maintenant. DeGrasse, voyez la vidéo et...
Oh la la! Too close to call. Thank you to athleticscanada.tv and Runner Space for the...
Can you ask for anything closer?
Slow motion instant replay. That was fantastic. It might have been Aaron Brown. We don't know. We'll have to wait for the photo.
Hello, everybody. My name is Aaron Brown, and I'm a member of Canada's track and field Olympic team, and I'm also a Rio 2016 Olympic bronze medalist in the 4x1, as well as a 6-time national champion. And today I'm excited to join the celebration of student athletes from St. Mike's. So congratulations on all your accomplishments. When I think about adversity, 2020 definitely comes to mind because As you can see, we're all in the shutdown together and going through a quarantine, and this is something unprecedented, but we're trying to stay positive through this. This grade 7 athlete was a very determined and dedicated athlete. He shows great potential with a number of top 10 finishes and a great showing at the CISA final. This year's under 13 cross country MVP is Jacob Devine. His dedication to the program was very much infectious to his teammates and appreciated by his coaches. This year's under 14 cross country MVP is Lucas Kovar. This grade 9 runner was the heart and soul of a young novice boys team. He finished 6th at league finals, leading the team to a CISA championship. He was also the driving force of an underdog team that ended the season with an OFSA provincial silver medal. The winner of the freshman cross country MVP is Simon Inslee.
Kajelcha of Ethiopia, Mo Farah. They are both out front. In the top 5, Kajelcha, Mo Farah, Idris Knight, Kifley.
Big finish from Justin Knight, the Canadian who runs for Syracuse.
Hi, everyone. For those who don't know me, my name is Justin Knight. I'm an athlete with Team Canada, competing in track and field. I was a former graduate of St. Mike's back in 2014, which is also the same year that I won Athlete of the Year. After I graduated from St. Mike's, I went on to receive a full scholarship at Syracuse University, and I would compete in cross country and track and field at that institution. As a former student, this athletic banquet was something we look forward to from the start of the school year. So I'm glad that we can put this on for you guys right now. That being said, I would like to make the main highlight of my speech be overcoming adversity. I'll share a couple of pivotal moments in my life where I faced adversity. The first story that I want to share with you guys is actually pretty early into the start of my career. This was in my grade 12 year at St. Mike's, and the story that I'm sharing with you guys has to do with me and the recruiting process and applying to American universities as well as Canadian universities. And I think everybody could relate to this, because no matter if you're well prepared, if you're a great student, if you're an average student, applying to university is just something that brings a lot of stress. And for me, I felt like I was overly stressed because of my situation. Because of my athletic success in my grade 12 year, I was faced with a lot of decisions that I would have to make on whether or not I want to go to school in America or whether I want to go to school in Canada. And I was very thankful to even have the opportunity to picked from various schools that were very well respected on both sides of the border, academically and athletically. The only problem is that unfortunately I found myself in a position where I was a little bit behind. And when I say behind, I think academically I struggled a little bit in my grade 9 and 10 years at St. Mike's, where it took a while for me to kind of adjust to the new program, the new system that St. Mike's had, and the level of excellence that they kind of strive for. And for a lot of students, it's very hard to adjust, but eventually you follow through. And the difference between applying to the American universities rather than applying to Canadian universities is that America kind of takes your 4 years of high school and averages out your GPA, whereas Canada looks at your grade in 11 and 12 year, and then they kind of make a decision from there. And I didn't know all of this when I was in school. And to be honest, I'm not going to pretend like it would have changed anything when I was younger. I just had to figure out what it took to become a great student. But unfortunately, the position that it put me in was I was behind. I had a relatively average GPA score, and therefore I had to score higher on the SAT and the ACT. And at this point in my life, I was very stressed. There was pressure that I put on myself of trying to be the number one person in the province and win OFSA titles. There was pressure with keeping up with my schoolwork after the amount of school that I missed. And there was just also pressure with just being a regular kid, stuff like hanging out with friends and, maybe finding a girlfriend and stuff like that. So all these things together kind of made my senior year a little bit harder than it should have been. Fortunately enough, my time at St. Mike's was, it was great. I had a great support system at home, being my parents and my brother. They were always there looking out for me and help guiding me in the right direction, as well as I had a phenomenal, an extensive amount of support from the entire St. Michael's staff, meaning the teachers and everybody else within that community. And with that, there was times where I felt like I couldn't do it. I felt like maybe I should just go to school in Canada because applying to school in the States is too hard. But the teachers and my parents always pushed me and said, okay, they didn't say that you can't come to school here, but you just have to get a higher grade on your ACT. And that's something that we can work with right now. And I think when it was kind of explained to me in that sense, it was just that I needed to work harder. I had that time to relax or whatever, fooling around or whatever I was doing in grade 9, but now is the time to work. And with that, I had to sacrifice a lot. I remember there was times at school where during lunchtime, instead of hanging out with my friends and enjoying the conversation and the break from school, I would just eat and then go straight to my science teacher's class or my math teacher's class to kind of have them explain the material to me in a way that I could understand. And stuff like that kind of helped. It helped boost my average at school. And then even in terms of applying for the ACT or applying myself in the ACT and SAT, I was fortunate enough to have parents that invested into getting a tutor for me, and that helped out a lot. I didn't have a lot of free time. Once I finished my homework, instead of watching TV or playing games like the regular kid, I had to do another round of, homework, you can say, with the tutor. And I think just through those sacrifices and working hard, I was able to get the grades that I needed to apply to the States, as well as getting the score I needed on the ACT to be accepted by Syracuse University. And I think just sharing this story with you guys, the moral of that story is just don't wait till you're behind to go above and beyond in whatever you're doing. Don't wait till you're behind, and it doesn't even matter if you're ahead. I think just always giving your 100% effort is something that you should live by, and that's something that you should stand for, and it'll put you in a good situation. The second story I want to share with you guys, I'm going to take you back to my 2017 cross-country championship with Syracuse University. And that was a very special race to me. And spoiler alert, I won the race. But I want to take you a little further back to explain what was going on during the race and before the race, and kind of my thoughts of what was going on around that time. And I think people look back at that championship for me and they see the picture of me crossing the line and doing a cool pose as if it was so effortless. But I think maybe I kind of falsified the feelings I was going through during that race. It was a lot harder than it looked or what I made it look like. I was going through adversity the whole time during the race. And to be honest, I wasn't really nervous on the line. I was extremely prepared. Like, this is the most prepared I've probably ever been in my life. And even though I was so prepared, I was still hit with a situation that I was still surprising. I wasn't ready for that. And that situation was I got a cramp in my stomach at least 5K into the race, and the race is a 10K. So I had to run an entire 5K of the race with a bad stomach cramp and try to still win. And I remember just going through that race, and it was very difficult for me. I was the favorite. There was a pack of four of us, or a pack of three of us actually, that were a little bit beyond the rest of the guys in the race. And unfortunately for me, these two kids that were in the same pack as me were on the same team. And they were working together to kind of maybe tire me out a little bit, or, you know, use their own tactics to make sure that one of them came out with the win. And the whole time while they were doing that, I also had to deal with, you know, the physical pain that was happening to me in my stomach. And I remember there was maybe 400 meters left in the race. I could see the finish line, and I was in second place, and the crowd was cheering. I don't know if they were cheering for me or the kid that was ahead of me. And I just remember having a moment of self-reflection in that 400 meters saying, Justin, if you don't give everything that you have in this race, you are going to regret it for the rest of your life. And even though I was struggling, even though I was in so much pain and I just wanted to walk off the sideline, I knew that I only had 1 minute of just giving my all for this race. And that was something I was willing to live with. And long story short, I ended up passing the guy, and I ended up winning the race, winning my first NCAA championship. And it was just a phenomenal moment, and it was something that I was able to remember forever. What I want to highlight is that you can prepare for stuff in life. You can do all the work. You can, you know, work out all these situations that you might have to account for, but sometimes some things in life just don't go your way, and sometimes it's inconvenient. And even though it might be hard and it might not be fair that it's happening to you, you have to put yourself together and find that strength to keep pushing and to keep going, because there is something that you can celebrate once you pass that finish line in life. I was the favorite, I guess you can say, to win Athlete of the Year. And I ended up not winning when I was in elementary school in grade 8. And they gave it to a different kid for a different reason. And I was hurt because I felt like I gave my all to the school, and I felt like I worked so hard and I didn't get rewarded for it. And I think that was like a really tough lesson as a kid to kind of have to come to terms with, and realize, like, sometimes even if you work hard, you might not be appreciated or rewarded. And later on, I mean, I ended up going to St. Mike's in high school, and I didn't really receive awards in my freshman year, sophomore year. I didn't deserve them. That's the one thing I want to emphasize. I wasn't the best athlete on my team, but I didn't win any awards. But I mean, it was still a pleasure to be at this ceremony and see pictures and, you know, reminisce of all the good memories we had during the season. And, you know, fast forward, eventually in grade 12, I won like the biggest honor that I could have never dreamed of winning, winning Athlete of the Year. And I think, like, my brother went to St. Mike's before me, and I saw him win like awards for being the MVP for volleyball or something like that. And I always strived, like, I wanted to be the best person on a team. And here I was in grade 12 receiving the biggest award of all, being an Athlete of the Year. And what I'm kind of saying in this story is that, you know, sometimes things might not seem fair at the beginning, and sometimes you might be disappointed, but don't think that just because you didn't win something at this award ceremony, or if you didn't, you know, achieve this in life, that you can achieve something greater down the road. And I hope that all you guys feel good about tonight. And trust me, this school, we have the best athletes in Toronto and in the province, actually. So it's very hard to win awards. But I think the last thing I just want to say is just, if you didn't win, if you won, great. If you didn't win, don't let this ruin your night or ruin your work ethic, because you too can accomplish much more and have even more success in the future. So work hard, and I hope you guys just enjoy the rest of your night. There was no slump for our next MVP, as he followed up his Freshman Athlete of the Year season with an equally outstanding sophomore season. He led his team through a dominant year, winning pre-OFSA, the Colts Classic, and finishing second at the CISA Finals to help bring home a team championship. He culminated an impressive season with a 6th place finish at OFSA and a team bronze. This year's junior cross-country MVP is Daniel DeMonte. His dedication and commitment to the program as a team captain is a shining example to new St. Michael's athletes. This young man led his senior team by winning the Birchmount Invitational, a top 10 finish at pre-OFSA, a top 10 finish at CISA Finals, and a team silver medal. His performance led St. Mike's to a record 41st overall league championship and an OFSA provincial 2nd place. The senior cross-country MVP is Miles DeCastro. Congratulations, Miles.
I'm Derek Wiggin, and I'm a member of the CFL's Calgary Stampeders and a former Athlete of the Year at St. Mike's back in the school year 2009 2010. Thank you for allowing me to be a part of this great event. My first real encounter in university was in 2014. So I just got drafted to the Stampeders, like my first time being around pro athletes. And unfortunately, I didn't make the team that first year there. So I was given the choice, go back to school or was football over for me? I wasn't quite sure, but with talking with my parents, they said, hey, why not? Give it a shot. You know, this could be, if this is your last go at it, at least make sure you did everything you could. So went back to school, trained hard, played my 5th year of university. Then when I came back for camp the next year, I made the team. And that was it just showed me how much working towards a goal, putting all your perseverance into something pays off. So that was my first real being face of adversity. So now towards the awards. As a truly exceptional athlete, guided by a strong sense of fair play, good humor, this young man ran, jumped, and caught his way to helping St. Michael's win its first CIS AA Under-14 Flag Football Championship. We look forward to following his successes at the high school level. The U14 Flag Football MVP is, drumroll, Sam Dickinson. With such a well-rounded team, it is difficult to have only one Kerry Blues MVP this year. Our first MVP demonstrated a remarkable ability to balance academics and athletics while being a talented multi-sport athlete. In the dying moments of the championship, with the game on the line, he humbly kicked 2 40-yard field goals to lift the Kerry Blues to a CIS AA championship. This year's St. Michael's College School Junior Kerry Blues football co-MVP is, drumroll again, Santiago Primetime Patricio. Our next MVP demonstrated outstanding athletic ability in all 3 phases of the game. He showcased his remarkable speed and physical toughness on defense and versatility on offense, playing virtually every skill position on the field. Wow, super talented. This year's St. Michael's College School Junior Kerry Blues football co-MVP is Julius Joseph Brown.
Good evening. My name is Mike Ross, class of 1986 and staff member since 2000. St. Mike's is losing a great one. The man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Frank Trinity. I was shocked and dismayed when I learned that Frankie T would be leaving us and taking up the position as senior school assistant principal at Vancouver College. I mean, how could a man named Trent Dewey leave the staff at St. Michael's College School after only 31 years? Obviously, math was never one of his strong points. I guess from now on, we need to call him Frank Trent Uno. Okay? I suppose I should have known something was up when I popped in on Frank during one of my day 3 upstairs hallways patrols and caught him wearing gray wool socks and Birkenstocks eating a bowl of granola. He was definitely preparing for life on the left coast, but I digress. Little Frankie T first entered these famed yellow brick walls back in September of 1979 as a star AAA goalie, and he left as an outstanding football player. In his grade 12 year, he helped the Kerry Blues win the inaugural Metro Bowl. 2 years his junior, I was only able to play with Frank for 1 season. He, one of the leaders and team captains, and me just trying to stay out of his way. Usually not a good thing, as I was an offensive lineman trying to block him, but I was no dummy. I liked my head attached to my shoulders, thank you very much. He was as tough and as intense as any I had played with over my 10-year career. A dominating defensive tackle, Coach Mike Cole also brought Frank over to the offensive side of the ball and made him a blocking fullback. And I can remember once in practice, as we put in a new play, Frank being so disappointed that he was to be used as a decoy running away from the action. "But then I don't get to hit nobody," he would say. Intimidating to say the least. Frank went on to star for the X-Men at St. Francis Xavier, being named second-team All-Canadian in his last season. And in 1989, Mr. Trenta Uno returned to St. Michael's for the first of his 31 years as English teacher, guidance counselor, and finally as director of student affairs. Throughout his Trenta Uno years, Frank has coached hockey, track, soccer, but his true passion has always been the Kerry Blues football team. St. Mike's has won a record 7 Metro Bowl championships, and Frank has been involved in each one. The first as a player, and the other 6 as coach. His dedication, knowledge, and experience were key factors in those successes, and in all the successes, both on and off the field, that the Kerry Blues have seen over his time here. Now, Frankie T looks intimidating. I was sure intimidated as a young grade 11 student looking up to him, the burly grade 13 that he was. And when I heard that he was back at St. Mike's as an English teacher, I was more than a little taken aback. Frank had been a very quiet leader on the team. And other than a few choice words and some snarling and some growling, I didn't even know that Frank could speak English, let alone teach it. How wrong I was. His gruff exterior notwithstanding, in my 20 years of working with him, I have come to know what a real softie he is. His care and dedication for his students and players knows no bounds, and he constantly tries to push and motivate them to be better, both on the field and off. He has stuck his neck out for them on several times, got burned once or twice, but he leaves behind a tremendous legacy and countless young men forever in his debt. Frank is always working to give these kids great experiences with football and in life, and he's worked tirelessly to that end. He set up countless games against American teams, and while the games were more than a little lopsided and not in a good way, the trips gave the boys great memories, and they were a great time for us coaches as well. It has been a pleasure and an honor to work with you, Frank, on the field and in the school. And even though I'm still a little bitter about the whole Trenta Uno thing, I know that our loss is Vancouver College's gain. Best of luck, my friend.
I'm not sure how many people know this, Frank, but you've been a member of the St. Michael's community for 35 years. You joined the school as a student in 1979, and your homeroom was 9C. Other students at St. Michael's that year were Mr. Chris Callahan, Mr. Kurt Charter, and Mr. Greg Hook. One of the highlights of your illustrious high school career was being a player on the undefeated senior Kerry Blue football team that won the first Metro Bowl championship in 1982. After attending St. Francis Xavier University, you returned to St. Michael's as a staff member in the English department in 1989. And I have to tell you, Frank, this came as a big surprise to many of your former St. Michael's teachers. However, you have surprised us all, and it's been with great admiration that we've watched you grow and develop into an accomplished teacher, coach, and administrator. Your dedication, preparation, organizational skills, and attention to detail are second to none. When I retired in 2012, I felt comfortable knowing that you would be in charge of the St. Michael's football program, because I knew how much time and effort you put into coaching. I knew the long hours you spent every night at home watching game films of other teams, inputting their plays in your computer to prepare a game plan. You were doing football analytics before experts in the hockey community even knew what the word analytics meant. Your commitment to always being prepared as a coach resulted in many Kerry Blue football championships. But it's more than just your organizational skills that will be missed by the St. Michael's community. Your understanding, dedication, and love of learning helped you form a special bond with the students and athletes who were placed in your care. And this bond will be difficult to replace when you leave St. Mike's. However, I know that the most important quality that your students, colleagues, and parents will miss most about Mr. Trenta Due, number 32, is your loyalty to the St. Michael's College school community. Because I know that your blood is really colored double blue. You're now taking your talents and skills to the West Coast to continue your career, and I wish you every success. I look forward to the day when we can get together and celebrate your St. Michael's career in person. Best wishes to you and your family. Ciao, Frank. Take care.
Hello, St. Mike's, and thank you for this special invitation, virtual as it is, to be here to honor Frank Trenadou. It's been a few years since I was writing stories about the Kerry Blues and the Toronto Star and interviewing players on the CBC and Sportsnet 590. It's great to be with you to highlight a man who has done so much. I remember Frank Trenadou from back in 2003, this burgeoning football star who set a franchise record in playoff sacks when he starred with the Arizona Rattlers. What? That's not him? Oh, okay. Well, the Frank Trenadou I remember was a brilliant academic, and he lectured at McGill University in Montreal when he wasn't involved in financial work for the National Bank of Canada. And you're kidding me. That's not him either? Frank Trenadou was a 3-time honoree at Elmhurst College, just west of Chicago, and a Hall of Fame athlete. And what, Frank wasn't a Hall of Fame athlete either? Look, I know Frank Trenadou like no one else does. Not many knew that Frank was born in Italy, and he spent 30 years as a bar mill inspector. What? Okay, well, Frank Trenadou wanted to be a director, and he was a director of the Toronto Junior Argonauts Summer Camp. That's the Frank Trenadou I know. In his teens, he was one of the many high school all-stars. He played the game very well, and later an all-Canadian at St. Francis Xavier. And he earned the job as head coach of one of the most feared high school football teams in the Greater Toronto Area. For that matter, even Ontario, the St. Mike's Kerry Blues. The Frank Trenadou I knew was the one who took students on a positive journey, and he stressed being a good student leads to being a good football player and a credit to society. He's the one, energetic, loyal, and determined to get students to understand teams and just to understand people, to do their best, no matter what. There was superiority on the football field, and there was commitment, dedication, and trust. That all came from Frank Trenadou, the teacher, the coach, and my friend. Frank, I salute you. Good luck in British Columbia. We wish you well.
When I got the email from Alex Frescura asking me to speak about my friend Frank Trenadou, I was elated. We went to St. Mike's together, played football under Paul Forbes and Mike Cole, and then we coached together for almost 14 years. I mistakenly figured it was a retirement event that we would be celebrating, and I was a little surprised to find out he was actually moving to BC and would be continuing his career at another school. Wow. I mean, a lot of people figured Frank had been retired for a number of years already, having moved upstairs and become director of student affairs. That's understandable. I assume that position is sort of like a guidance counselor in the real world. Must be a real busy job at St. Mike's. Everyone takes the same courses, all the same level, and everyone gets into their first choice university. Hectic. I guess I can understand why you'd want out of that rat race. I hear it can be dangerous working in guidance, though. In fact, the last time I was in his office, I saw that Frank had installed an airbag on the top surface of his desk. Being the curious type, I asked him about it, and he explained it was there to avoid bruising his forehead in case he fell asleep after lunch. Safety first. Speaking of safety, Frank and I did wear leather helmets back in the day when we played football together at St. Mike's. When I returned to teach and coach at SMC in 1989, I had mainly lost touch with Frank, and I was shocked to hear that, first of all, he was a teacher, and second, that he was actually teaching English. When I went to school with him, I'm not sure we heard him speak more than 10 English words. How the heck could he teach it? I'm joking, of course. Actually, after agreeing to say a few words about Frank, Mr. Frescura told me that they had to be PG rated, no Rocky Saginaw jokes. So most of this stuff was made up. Clearly, Frank knows more than 10 English words. And one of his most favorite words when we taught together was food. He's a lean machine now. He counts his steps and probably wears one of those fancy Fitbits as a watch. But back when we were coaching together, Frankie liked to eat. And he had rules about eating too. Once, after coaching a big championship football game, we all went down to the Monarch Tavern on Clinton Street, where they served the best veal sandwiches. We each ordered one, Frank had 3. After paying the bill, we tried to get Frank to come out to a club or a bar, but he said, and I'll never forget this, no, I got to get home for dinner. Well, we were shocked, and we asked him about the 3 massive sandwiches he had just crushed, figuring that would be enough calories for the rest of the week. He looked at us and gave us one of his rules about food. He said, if you don't use a fork and knife, it's not dinner. Anyway, we reconnected this year at the Turkey Roll, and it was great to see former teammates, players, and students. They all knew Frank, and it was clear what a tremendous mark he's made as an educator, mentor, and coach over the past 30 years here at St. Mike's. I'm sure he'll be missed by students and colleagues alike, and I wish him the best of luck in his new adventure on the West Coast. Cheers, Frank.
Hi, my name is Chase McCarthy. I'm an alumnus of St. Michael's College School, class of 2014. I was excited to play part in the golf team's visit last summer to the home of golf, St. Andrews, Scotland, where I was completing my studies at the University of St. Andrews. It was an honor to get back to the school in a small way and host Mr. Corrente and the team in a town that I've called home for the last 5 years. In winning the first OFSA Golf Provincial Championship in school history, the entire squad cemented their legacy in St. Michael's sports history. The co-MVPs we honor now have been members of the team since coming to the school in grade 7. They've never wavered in their dedication, commitment, and focus. Our first MVP is an attacker and a risk taker who makes golf fun and exciting to watch. Our second MVP is a calculated and strategic shooter and the team's most consistent scorer. Both have been instrumental in helping the team win 3 CISA team championships and this year's provincial championship. Your golf co-MVPs are Oscar Fezchuk and Lucas Cimarroni. Congratulations, gentlemen.
Hey everybody, this is Tara Sloan from Rogers Hometown Hockey on Sportsnet. I hope you're all keeping safe, keeping healthy. I want to say congratulations to all the student athletes at St. Michael's College School. This is obviously a big blow to everybody. For you not to be celebrating together is especially hard. But you know, we can all get through this together. I think we all have a lot of examples in our families, family members who have had to overcome a tremendous amount of adversity. For me, my great-grandparents came over from the Ukraine. They were Jews and they were persecuted. So they had to make a better life here in Canada. My stepfather was a child during the Holocaust in Poland, and he actually had to be in hiding with his sister, hiding from the Nazis, and luckily came out the other side and was reunited with his parents. So there have been some very hard times in history. Undoubtedly, this is one of them. But if we all stick together, we know that we are stronger together. So again, congratulations to all of you, and have a great night together apart. The anchor of this year's U14 soccer team was at central midfielder. This player's contribution were pivotal both offensively and defensively. His outstanding performance in all 3 playoff games was key to helping the squad claim the U14 Division I CISA Championship. This year's U14 soccer MVP is Christian Fortier. This year's junior soccer MVP was the season's top scorer, including a 4-goal performance in Week 5. His control through the middle and his poise in key moments was vital to the team's success on the way to a CISA championship. We look forward to his contributions at the senior level next year. Congratulations, this year's junior soccer MVP is Constantine Valensas.
Hey guys, my name is Andy Kyoto, currently a goaltending coach with the Pittsburgh Penguins, previously a goaltender myself and former student athlete at St. Michael's College School. Congratulations to all the student athletes this year. My connection and relationship with St. Mike's goes back 20 plus years and still runs strong today. I was asked about what comes to mind when I think of adversity. Adversity comes in all different shapes and sizes: health, family, relationships, professional life, business, and of course sports. For me, what comes to mind is strength and focus. Having the strength and focus to deal with life's actual events, not its perceived eventualities. Living in the present and having a relentless focus on what needs to be done at that given time to persevere. We're all going to experience adversity. Every athlete's going to experience adversity, and I think it takes a lot of resolve and resilience to get through. So my best when you next run into adversity. For the athletes, this first award goes to a well-rounded athlete. This young man showed the ability to accelerate past opponents or dive into a pile of bodies and come out with the ball. He was the team's top scorer and one of its leaders this season. The Junior 2 soccer MVP is Dylan Sabapathy. This year, the senior soccer team will honor co-MVPs. The first MVP lets his play do the talking. This quiet, confident leader has been a member of the program for 4 years. One of the hardest working players on the field, he was the core of the defensive unit. This first co-MVP, Lizzie Leon. Congratulations. The second MVP is a 5-year player with the program. He embraced the role of being co-captain this season and developed both on and off the field. His dedication was integral on both sides of the ball, offensively and defensively. We look forward to having this player back next season to help lead the squad. The second co-MVP, Andrew Markson.
My name is Brandon Coppers. I am a member of Team Canada's men's volleyball team. Through my years in high school and in university, I've always admired St. Michael's and am honored to have competed against your teams and have been able to get to know some of your coaches and athletes. It is a tremendous honor to have been asked to present a couple of awards today. In my years of being an athlete, I had to overcome adversity. Adversity takes on many forms. No matter what kind of adversity you face in your life, it will always challenge you. It is in these times that we get to know our true selves and what kind of person we are now and the kind of person we want to be in the future. God will never give you anything that's too hard to handle. This young man has demonstrated an extraordinary level of athleticism with a very high compete level. His positive attitude is contagious, and his sportsmanship is a proud example of program philosophy. He leads by example and demonstrates the willingness to make the tough plays and sacrifices for the good of the team. This year's U13 volleyball MVP is Ryan Nelson. For our next award winner, this player showed up to every practice and game with a winning attitude. He was a sharp shooter from the service line and never gave up on any ball, repeatedly laying his body on the line to continue the play. He would often score clutch points in competitive games. We look forward to seeing his growth as a volleyball player next year at the junior level. This year's U14 Blue Strikers MVP is Owen Doig.
Everyone. Hi, gents. This is Danny Dick here. I'm a part of men's Canadian volleyball team and also a professional volleyball player at Montpellier in France. I'm an alumnus. I graduated in 2012. Feels just like yesterday, so really happy to be here with you guys. When I think of adversity, I think that adversity shows itself in many, many different ways. For example, just a tidbit about me. In my first year of playing professional volleyball, I actually chopped off my thumb, and it was quite a severe injury, but just after a couple of weeks, I saw it as an opportunity to do other things, get in the weight room, work on my strengths there. And because of this, I was able to make a resurgence, come back, and at the end of the season, I had a good showing, and just so happens that I was selected for the first time to the Senior A national team. So really, really nice to see adversity and to really make the best of your situation. It could come in many different ways. I know right now is definitely a bizarre time for all of you. So take the opportunities whenever you could get them, whether it be in school, whether it be in athletics. Just make sure you make the most of your time. Our junior volleyball MVP exemplified commitment, leadership, and perseverance to his teammates and coaches. At the setter position, his athleticism and clever tactics set up optimal plays throughout the season, carrying the squad all the way to the CISA finals. This year's junior volleyball MVP is William McCuspick. This year's senior MVP is an exceptional student athlete and a reliable and dependable captain. He's a great listener and always open to feedback from his coaches and teammates. He is consistently leading through example in both the classroom and the court. We would like to congratulate this year's senior volleyball MVP, Vincent Marafino.
My name is Joan McDonald, and I'm an archery coach. In the past, I was a 13-time Canadian champion, represented Canada at the Pan Am Games, winning a bronze and silver medal, and competed in numerous world championships. I have coached Canada's Olympic archery team to 6 Olympic Games and am a member of the Canadian Olympic Hall of Fame. I've been associated with St. Michael's College School's archery program since 1993 and thoroughly enjoy teaching St. Mike's students about this fantastic sport. The Blue Archers are a large and energetic group who are eager to learn. All of them are valuable. One student athlete in particular exemplified what it means to be a strong leader and a good teammate. His enthusiasm and dedication to archery at St. Mike's has definitely been a contributing factor to the success of the team. He is a positive role model for our younger archers and demonstrates tremendous character and leadership when instructing them. He's kind, caring, charismatic, and is appreciated by both his coaches and his fellow archers. The MVP of this year's archery team is Adam Fisher.
Spinning around, Green launches. Danny Green from Yellowknife. Kawhi up top, looks at the clock, turns the corner for the win! Got it! Kawhi Leonard! With the game winner! Hanging in the air! The ball suspended in air! In some 18 years later,
I'm Matt Devlin, voice of the Toronto Raptors, and when I think about St. Michael's College Preparatory, I certainly think about my great friend Leo Routens, who is the greatest basketball player ever coming out of St. Mike's. He was not only at the age of 16 a member of the senior men's national basketball team, but he was also a first-round pick by the Philadelphia 76ers back in 1983. You think about Leo, he had 19 surgeries throughout his playing career, and yet every year he came back and ended up having over a decade-long professional career. It says so much about what he learned at St. Mike's It speaks so highly of him and his motivation to do exactly what needs to be done on a daily basis to be at his very best. And he certainly proved that, and to this day continues to do so. This athlete's consistent attendance at early morning practices, great coachability, and 100% attitude. Those are the things that define this individual and make him so valuable. He also always strives to do better and encourages his teammates to do the same. This year's MVP for U13 basketball is Ryan Walsh. This player is exceptionally disciplined and motivated. He often took a leadership role in drills and was consistently one of the highest scoring players on game day. We look forward to watching his development in the high school program next year. This season's U14 basketball MVP is Lucas Kovar. Congratulations, Lucas.
Our next inductee rose to prominence as a teenager, a star basketball player for St. Michael's College School in Toronto. At 16, Leo Routens became the youngest player ever to earn a spot with the Canadian national team. He then honed his skills in the NCAA at Minnesota and Syracuse before becoming the highest drafted Canadian to that point in NBA history. Chosen 17th overall by the Philadelphia 76ers in 1983, injuries hampered Leo's time in the NBA, but he went on to a decade-long professional career in the U.S. and Europe. In 2005, Leo was named the head coach of Canada's men's national team, a post he held until 2011. Today, he is living out another of his dreams, working in television as a lead analyst for Toronto Raptors broadcasts, a position he has held since the team's inception in 1995. Leo Routens is truly one of the faces of Canadian basketball and one of the great ambassadors for the sport in this country.
Hi, Leo Routens here, basketball analyst for the Toronto Raptors on TSN, Sportsnet, NBA TV, and anybody else that'll put me on to talk basketball. I'm really excited to be a part of St. Michael's first ever Virtual Athletic Awards Banquet. I often think about my days as a student athlete back at St. Mike's. So many great memories, experiences, and friendships that I still enjoy to this day. Sneaking into the old gym, hanging off the balcony, or rather dropping Greg Hook off the balcony to open up the gym from the inside and play day and night. Even remember moving the exam tables off the half court, playing for hours, then having put them all back like we were never there. Traveling anywhere and everywhere, all squished in one van with our Blue Raider basketball team and our head coach Dan Prendergast smoking his Victory cigars when it was too cold to even open the windows. The wonderful coaches, teachers, and bazillion fathers who not only taught me English, history, Latin, yes, you heard right, Latin, geography, French, math, okay, forget that one. They all failed, so did I. But they taught me about life and how to live the right way. So many great lessons. And when it comes to adversity, which all athletes face, as we are experiencing in our daily lives, having to go virtual with a pandemic going on, those lessons are our backbone, our strength. As an athlete, to achieve success, you have to taste failure. It's your response to getting knocked down that will ultimately dictate who and what you become. How do we do this? Goals. A dream is just a dream until you write it down. Then it becomes a goal. You write down your goals, a daily plan for long-term, mid-term, and near-term objectives, so you can see them every day, and you can't ignore them or conveniently forget. And you proceed to work with focus, undeterred by injury, loss, failure, criticism, or yes, even success and flattery. And with the challenges of life, even in a time of stress and uncertainty, look no further than the motto you see each day at school. Teach me goodness, discipline, and knowledge. Live right, do good, care. Have the discipline to stay focused, not lose sight of your goals, get sidetracked, misdirected, or lose your spirit or will to keep fighting. And use your knowledge to see things properly, to make sound judgments, to understand the risks and rewards of your actions, even to employ some common sense, something that is becoming less and less common. You have the tools, strength, and faith to handle the adversity you will face. And never forget, with God on your side, who and what do you have to fear? This year's junior basketball team has co-MVPs. First up, we have an incredibly gifted ball handler who hits clutch baskets in big situations. He is a fearless individual with incredible poise, handling on-ball pressure. Already able to shoot the lights out from three-point range as a freshman, the program looks forward to watching his development next season. This year's first junior basketball co-MVP is Jaden Pennicott. Next up, we have an individual who is unstoppable in the paint and on the boards. He is a leader in fast breaks with key initial passes, often leading to buckets. This student athlete attended every practice with a positive, uplifting attitude. Rounding out this year's junior basketball MVPs is Jamari Dyer Lynch. This student athlete not only led the senior basketball team in assists, but was also one of the squad's best rebounders. As the team's floor general, he led by example with his actions and was counted on to set the tone of the game both offensively and defensively. This year he was a tournament all-star at the Marcia Marsh Roundball Classic in Erie, Pennsylvania, and was selected as the tournament MVP at the All-Ontario Catholic Championships. This year's Senior Blue Raiders MVP, winner of the Dan Prendergast Award, is Elijah Bethune.
Hello, everyone. My name is Joseph Catana, and I'm truly honored to be asked to participate in St. Michael's first ever Virtual Athletic Banquet. My affiliation to St. Michael's precedes my first steps in the Yellow Brick Halls, dating back to 1946 with my grandfather's graduation. The goodness, discipline, and knowledge taught to my grandfather at St. Mike's became instrumental pillars of his life, helping to mold him during his early years as a journalist and then later in the real estate community. At any mention of St. Michael's to this day, my grandfather still brims with excitement, speaking very highly of the school's impact on his life. The Catana story at St. Michael's does not end there, as his brother John, my father Edward, my uncle Robert, and my brother Thomas were all St. Michael's men, something my grandfather takes great pride in. When I think about adversity, though, I think back to my time as a member of the Blue Raiders. Writer Arthur William Ward put it best: adversity causes some men to break and others to break records. The highs we achieved on our road to the school's first OFSA championship were often predated by tough lows. Losses, tough practices, and everything in between may be difficult to stomach at the time, but they are building blocks which build great championships and prepare you for life post St. Michael's. And yes, while that championship is a feeling I won't forget, the memories forged in practice, classrooms, as well as the life lessons taught to me by Coach Charter and Pagano in junior basketball and Coaches Zauner, Lumsden, and Corrente in senior basketball will stick for me forever. And don't worry, Coach Zauner. You wait for the bus if the bus doesn't wait for you is something I'll never forget. Now to the award. First presented in 2016, the Joseph V. Catana Award was established as part of my grandfather's longtime goal to give back to the schools and pillars which have given so much to our family. Given to someone who embodies team spirit, the recipient was a physical presence on the court and a gentleman off. His ferocity on the boards was contrasted by his permanent smile and positive attitude in the hallways. It's an honor to present the Joseph V. Catana Award this year to Charlie Kuna Bukasa.
Stone right now. Jones is lying one. Derbyshire, Butler. Trying to hold it up, run it back. She got it. She does. Looking at 4 goes up from Susan O'Connor. Cheryl Bernard.
Hi, my name is Cheryl Bernard. I'm a 2-time Olympian and Olympic silver medalist. I'm currently the president and CEO at Canada Sports Hall of Fame, our only national museum of sport in this country. Congratulations to all the students at St. Michael's College School. It must be a thrilling day for all of you. I thought the theme, adversity, is very fitting in our world right now. We're all coming to understand how to show courage in the face of adversity. But the key thing to remember is that each situation or experience that you encounter in life, how you react to it, that is your choice. You can choose to be resilient, you can choose to see the glass half full, or you can choose to let it tear you down and defeat you. If you have a moment, I'd like to share a story that's a real life example of these choices. So 2 boys grew up in a house with an abusive alcoholic father. One little boy grew up to become an addiction counselor. The other little boy grew up and he became an alcoholic. As grown men, when they were asked the same question, why are you the way you are? The addiction counselor answered, because of my father. The alcoholic answered, because of my father. Therein lies the lesson. We can choose to overcome adversity. We create the person we become by the choices that we make. Those choices are never easy, but when you arrive at those forks in the road, your story can choose to go their way or your way. Choose your way. This athlete was new to sport, but picked it up very quickly. When the opposition was close to scoring points, he would make an amazing shot to win or blank an end. He was a clutch performer down the stretch, helping the squad make the playoff semifinal in their very first season. The curling Division I MVP is Judson Bell. For our second division curling team, this MVP is a seasoned curler. His many years of experience showed with his calm, steady presence and poise under pressure. He was a consistent shot maker, allowing his team to score points in most ends. Our inaugural Curling 2 MVP is Patrick Shue. Congratulations, Patrick.
Now Lavoie, back to Drysdale. He winds in. Drysdale fires, scores! J.D. Drysdale, 3-0 Canada. 3 minutes and 55 seconds in.
Hi, I'm Jamie Drysdale. I'm so honored that St. Mike's has asked me to participate in this year's banquet. I had the privilege of attending St. Mike's through grade 9 and 10. The past 2 years, I've played hockey in the OHL for the Erie Otters. This past winter, I was fortunate enough to represent our country and play for Team Canada at the World Juniors, where we won gold. But not everything has come easy. I faced adversity along the way through injuries, fatigue, sickness, and adjusting to a new country and a new home. And I really miss my friends here at St. Mike's. But in order to be successful, we must persevere even when times are tough, to rely on the support of family and friends, and to always give 100% in everything we do. Though only in grade 7, this athlete was dominating two-way presence. In addition to centering our top line, he was also our leading goal scorer for the year. He has a knack for scoring big goals during the moments we needed them the most. In the CISA finals, he scored a natural hat-trick in the first period to pace our team to the eventual championship. This year's MVP of the U14 Team Blue is Matthias Stark. For our next award winner, the coaching staff comments that this young hockey player brings back memories of Hall of Famer, Leaf great, and SMCS alumnus David Keon. He's a skilled, smooth skating, and a gentleman. Our U14 Team White MVP is just that sort of player. Congratulations to Jonathan Morello.
comes Thomas with a chance. Moves it, but he scores! Akil Thomas has given Canada the lead with less than 4 minutes to go in the third period. His first goal of this World Junior Hockey Championship.
Hi, I'm Akil Thomas, and I'm a Team Canada World Junior Gold Medal winner and alumnus of St. Michael's College School. I didn't graduate from St. Mike's because I had to leave in grade 11 to pursue my OHL career, but I had a great time and I met a lot of good people. When facing adversity, I think the first thing that comes to mind is a few years leading up to my OHL draft, I just didn't feel the same connection to hockey as I did before, and I felt like I was kind of losing the love of the game, and I had a lot of fights with my dad, and because he's super tough on me. And I remember back in grade 11, basically I convinced my dad to let me play school hockey because he didn't want me to get hurt or be tired for my outside hockey because it was my draft year. It was very important, but ultimately my mom and I convinced him to let me play, and to be honest, that was the most fun in hockey I've ever had to this day, other than maybe the World Juniors. And I remember just after that season, the guys we had, the team we had, we ended up winning the championship and stuff. I just kind of fell in love with the game of hockey again, and I kind of look back on that experience as maybe something that saved me and kind of kept me driving with hockey. And since that year, I've never loved hockey more again. And it's just something I'm grateful that happened to me. Our co-MVPs for this year's edition of the Junior Double Blues, these two athletes embodied more than just talent. The first athlete plays a very technical game, doesn't make slick moves, but makes key saves when you need them. He was the most dedicated to the team, stepping up to the various challenges presented. This year's Junior Double Blues first co-MVP is Shay Lauren. Next up, this player is a 2-year member of the team. His value came in his commitment to the team, his positive attitude, and relentless pursuit of the puck. He was well respected in the dressing room and led by example. This most improved player from a year ago, he has certainly earned the honor of being recognized as the second co-MVP for the Junior Double Blues. Kewan Doig. In playing 70-plus games this season, and in 2 different leagues, it was hard to pick only one MVP for the majors, so there are co-MVPs. The first is the most valuable because of his ability to handle a heavy workload, play with a physical edge, and consistently lead in the face-off circle and score or set up timely goals. He could always be trusted to get the job done. The first co-MVP for the majors is Chris Edwards. Next up, this player's graceful and effortless skating style matched his upbeat and humorous personality. He was trustworthy and very responsible after he got up ice with his tremendous speed to ensure he was back to cover. He was one of the team's most reliable defensemen. This year's other co-MVP for the majors is Cole Garner.
Lovejoy in the corner. Cogliano chips it by. Short-handed break. Here comes Cogliano. He scores! If at first you don't succeed. Game action at the NHL level. They come to their feet at Honda Center. Cogliano picks it up and approaches Scrivens. Dusts it off and scores!
Whenever we see a player go out for a solo lap in the warm-up, it's usually for his first NHL game. Well, tonight is different. It was Andrew Cogliano's 1,000th game. A very special honor for him and very cool to do in his home city of Toronto. And well, it's fair to say that Andrew Cogliano has come a long way from his days of tearing up junior hockey with the St. Michael's Buzzers. We take you back to 2004, 2005. One of the best junior A players we've seen in a long time.
This is Andrew Cogliano of the Dallas Stars. I attended St. Mike's from grade 7 to grade 12, and I graduated in 2005. I have a lot of great memories playing for sports teams at St. Mike's, especially with the junior hockey team, senior hockey team, and finally finishing with 2 years with the St. Michael's Buzzers before I attended Michigan. This award is presented to the top buzzer who is still a student in grade 11 or grade 12 at St. Michael's College School. This hard-working two-way center processes the game well, is relentless in his puck pursuit, and is determined to win one-on-one battles. He played in all situations this season and finished third in team scoring. He was selected to the OJHL All-Prospects team and was also selected to play in the CJHL Top Prospects game. Next year, he's headed to the University of Arizona to play in the NCAA. This year's Buzzer Award goes to Ryan Alexander. Congratulations. This 2017 grad has been a St. Michael's College hockey player at every age level. He is wrapping up a 4-year OGHL career where not only was he a great hockey player, but mentor for other players. He was the team's captain and leading goal scorer this season. He was also recognized by the league first team as an Ontario Junior A Team All-Star. This year's Buzzer Junior A Hockey MVP goes to Jonah Alexander. Congratulations.
This multi-sport athlete has earned recognition as one of the top senior history students while managing a rigorous athletic schedule. As a history buff and member of both the senior hockey team and the senior rugby team, he'll always be excited to talk about the good old days with his classmates in the future. This year's Hugh McDougall Award winner is, final drum roll, William O'Brien. Congratulations to all of the winners.
Score in.
Time was not at 28.75. There's no way it was 28.75. But anyway, I'll leave it as
Okay.
is and we'll go on. We marked it.
Okay.
finishes with a time of 109.72. On course, we have bid 145 Owen, 146 Connor.
It's a little different for everyone. For me, it's all that adrenaline that builds up in your stomach and you get like kind of jittery. You try to want to get it at least a few times every time you train. I get that feeling usually when it's a gorgeous day and you rip a run and you just have that feeling at the bottom of the hill that all you want to do is go up and do it again. I think that's the best feeling. You feel so alive, almost invincible.
Hi everyone, my name is Candace Crawford and I'm a member of the Canadian Alpine Ski Team and the 2018 Olympic team. With this year's theme being adversity, it makes me think of all the times that I failed, got injured, or maybe not have been chosen for something during my career. It might sound cliche and you might hear it all the time, but it's from those experiences that you become better athletes and better people all around. Everyone fails, and it's in those failures that you learn and you get back up and you keep working towards your goals. If I hadn't gotten back up and kept trying, I would not have achieved most of my goals and accomplishments up to this point. But with that being said, I would like to say congratulations to all of the student athletes on your accomplishments this year. There's certainly a lot of value in consistency, and for the U14 ski team this year, consistency was key. This athlete applied himself at every practice and race, and those efforts really paid off. His hard work saw him climb in the standings ahead of many higher ranked opponents. There's a promising future for this year's U14 ski team MVP, so congratulations to John Harkness. This skier is a great sportsman who embodies the St. Michael's spirit. He was the senior team captain, serving a strong example for the younger skiers, and he managed to deliver consistently high performances through the entire season. In his graduating year, he qualified for OFSA and finished 4th overall in the province, a tremendous accomplishment in a crowded field of accomplished skiers. He deserves the community's praise and recognition for how he consistently exemplified the qualities of goodness, discipline, and knowledge, both on and off the slopes. The senior Alpine MVP is Aiden Bischoff.
buddy. Thank you so much, Matt. 63-55 Raptors over the Cavs at the half. Quick, fast break right. Here he is, the new mayor of Toronto and the Prime Minister of Canada, my man Charles.
You guys on? Everybody on there? I crashed in. Hi, it's Rod Black at TSN and CTV here at the VAB, the Virtual Athletic Banquet. Never done one of those before. Never been at an athletic banquet before because I never won anything in my life. Anyway, great to be with all of you at St. Mike's, one of my favorite schools because my buddy Leo Routens went there and he paid me a lot of money to say that. No, just kidding. Anyway, I'm here to hand out some awards. I'm not really doing that much. I've been broadcasting some grass growing and some dog walking lately. It's been pretty good side thing. I can't wait to cover real sports, and I can't wait to see all of you getting back on your fields, on the ice surfaces, wherever you do, whatever you do, to the coaches, everybody, to the parents. I know this is a very unusual time, and I know you've never had a banquet like this. And so when we talk about adversity, because I know that's your theme this year, I always believe in ABC. Adversity builds character. And you, in your life, will never have to go through anything like this adversity. This is a challenge for all of us. If you all can make it through this, imagine how easy sports will be. And when we get back, it's all going to be great. So good luck to all of you. Thank you for what you're doing. Thank you for staying safe. And so here we go. I guess I get to hand out an award by myself. So, the under 14 MVP in both slopestyle and alpine. He captured gold at the CISA Championship in both alpine and slopestyle. He's incredible. I think he's one of the greatest snowboarders I've ever seen in my life. I've actually never seen him, but I know he's good. Your under 14 snowboarding MVP, ladies and gentlemen, Thomas Duda. Thomas, congratulations. I'll give you a hug. Next up, the junior snowboarding MVP. He's leveraged his background in gymnastics, which is very good, by the way. I know when I was growing up snowboarding on the slopes of Saskatchewan, there are no slopes there, never mind. At the CISA Championship, this guy helped his squad earn team medals in gold and slopestyle and silver and alpine. Look forward to his leadership next year in a number of the programs. St. Mike's, give it up. This year's junior snowboarding MVP is Joshua Branson. All right, time for the seniors. Not a senior like me, I'm talking about seniors at St. Mike's. 4-year veteran of the program, 3-time provincial qualifier, placed 28th overall at the OFSAs this year. At the CISA League Championship, he anchored the squad to a gold medal in the team snowboard cross event, as well as earning an individual bronze medal in the alpine race. Honored with distinction by his interscholastic peers, he was an inaugural recipient of the CISA Spirit of the Mountain Award. Smart kid, good kid, talented kid, gotta love ya. Our senior snowboarding MVP, Thomas Lindsay.
Jose. All eyes on the mound and the bearded Sam Dyson. Now he comes set. Kicks the 1-1 pitch. Fly ball deep left field. Yes, sir. There she goes.
Hello, friends. This is Jerry Howarth, retired Blue Jays broadcaster and proud parent of two sons, Ben and Joe, who attended St. Mike's and graduated back in 1996 and 1997. They love St. Mike's, and so do I. At St. Mike's, Ben played in the jazz band with a guitar put together by Jamie Oate, and Joe played 5 years of volleyball and basketball. At St. Mike's, they were taught how to overcome adversity, something we all have to go through, including myself. Back in 1968 at the University of Santa Clara, where I graduated out in the San Francisco Bay Area, years later I was hired as their first fundraiser in the athletic department. On day one, I went to the Broncos radio broadcaster and asked him, could I join him on the radio to heighten my profile as a fundraiser? He said no. I said, why? He said, Jerry, you do not have a major league voice. I said, okay. And the next day, I went out and bought a tape recorder, and for 2 years, as I raised money for the school's athletic department, I broadcast all the football and basketball games as if I were on the radio. And as they say, the rest is history. You follow your heart. Don't let anyone tell you what you can't do. Enjoy the dinner, have fun, and go St. Mike's. This award presentation tonight features a swimmer who is a very committed member of his under-14 team. He gave it his all in training, always had a positive attitude, encouraging his teammates to improve and perform. His future is bright, to say the least. This year's under-14 swimming MVP is awarded to Jake Lee.
Hi, my name's Kennedy Goss. I'm from Toronto, Ontario. I was born and raised there, and in 2016 I made my Olympic debut in the 4x200 freestyle relay, where we won a bronze medal at the Olympic Games. And I would say that was a huge accomplishment for me, as growing up a swimmer, it is the dream to go to the Olympic Games. I went to Northern Secondary School growing up, and then I went to Indiana University from 2014 to 2018, and I'm actually still here swimming pro. I think going to the States was a huge adjustment, but I think it was amazing, and I loved Indiana University every step of the way. And yeah, I've also been to the 2016 Windsor Short Course Championships that were the World Championships, and we also won a gold medal there for the 4x2 relay, which was probably a very amazing achievement for me, as we could stand on the podium to hear the national anthem at home, and I think that was pretty awesome. Next, we celebrate an athlete who realized huge improvements this season in his individual race times. He also qualified for the OFSA Provincial Championships in both the individual and team freestyle events. Our winner is a first-class teammate, always supportive of his squad members. This year's junior swim team MVP is Ethan On.
But the battle is for silver. Tamsin Corker, Penny Ledecky. Canada's going to medal in this for the first time ever, and the color will be bronze.
My name is Brittany McLean, and I'm a two-time Olympic swimmer. I hold the Canadian record in the 400, 800, and 1500 meter freestyle events, and I won bronze at the Rio Olympic Games in the 4x200 freestyle relay. I'm a proud Torontonian, born and raised not too far from where you go to school, and I'm honored that I was asked to participate in St. Michael's first ever Virtual Athletic Banquet. I hear this year's theme is adversity, and when I think about adversity, I think about courage and determination. I think about having to face an unexpected obstacle and bouncing back stronger. Right now, I think it's pretty clear we're all facing adversity. It's time to come together through these challenges, support one another, and be kind to yourself. Instead of focusing on what you can't control, try to think about what you can, your attitude and your effort. Now, for the award, I'm very excited to be able to present it today, the Senior Swimming MVP. Our senior MVP this year was the skipper, organizing dryland training, guiding pre-race warm-ups, rallying the team at the meets, and leading cheers for all the swimmers, which is honestly my favorite part. This student was a positive and motivating leader. This year's senior swimming MVP is Anthony Davila. Congratulations.
is Chris Rossetti, and I'm a pro scout with the Miami Dolphins. I'll be entering my 6th season with the Dolphins this year and 9th in pro football after spending my first 3 with the Argonauts in the CFL. Congratulations to all the student athletes at St. Michael's College School. It feels like just yesterday I was attending my grade 12 athletic awards banquet. My connection to St. Mike's dates back to 1999 when my eldest brother first entered the school. I was the 3rd of 4 boys to attend St. Mike's and graduated in 2008. Athletics were always an integral part of my experience at St. Mike's, having competed in both junior and senior basketball and football teams. However, it was football that was my first love and primary sport. My teammates and I always understood the great tradition of St. Mike's football and worked every day to uphold that championship standard. Throughout my first 4 years, we were both CISA and Metro Bowl champions 3 times. These accomplishments are still something that I am quite proud of today and look back at my athletic experience at St. Mike's as one that taught me key lessons: hard work, discipline, sacrifice, and putting the team first, to name just a few. These lessons prepared me for a collegiate career in football once I left and ultimately shaped me for the line of work that I have today. When I think about adversity, I think about being in your shoes 12 years ago, knowing that I wanted to work in the National Football League, but having no idea on how to start for that path. As a Canadian kid with a dream to work in America's biggest league, I knew the odds were stacked against me and the road would be long. But through a ton of hard work, perseverance, and a never quit attitude, I was able to break into the Canadian Football League and ultimately the NFL later on. I had a dream, a passion, and a burning desire to accomplish what I set out to do. And while I was fortunate to achieve one of my goals that I set while I was at St. Mike's, it is imperative to carry a growth mindset and work ethic to continue to improve yourself and strive for more daily. I know it sounds cliche, but I hope I can set an example for you guys. You too can become anything you put your mind to and that you're passionate about working for, whether it's athletics, academics, business, or any field. I'll finish with a quote from Alabama's legendary football coach, Nick Saban, that I carry with me in my phone. It's not just what you want, it's what you're willing to do to get it. Now, enough about me. Let's get on to the awards. These 12 recipients are not considered outstanding junior athletes merely as star players, but rather as team members who compete at a high level while setting a good example for others. They exhibit the greatest all-around attributes of leadership, character, and teamwork. We look forward to following their academic and athletic pursuits in the senior school. This year's outstanding graduating athletes are Ethan Ahn, David Brandis, Alexander Cauchi, Daniel DeMonte, Javian Downey, Matthew Dubrick, Julius Joseph Brown, Alec Leonard, Kynan Loftus, Andrew Mazzocco, Santiago Patricio, and Danny Radiff Jr. Congratulations, gentlemen.
championship. In 3 of those 4 years, he made it to the finals. And Tyson Gibson with a diving goal there. Yeah, a little bit of a rebound, does a nice job of corralling that thing, and then buries it and has his own diving goal.
Fox also back out there. Over the top shot. It's Gibson back to back. It's 12-9.
Great work by Digby. We talked about Digby and Fox setting those big seals.
My name is Tyson Gibson, and I am part of the 2014 SMCS alumni class. First off, I would like to congratulate all the athletes for their commitments throughout the 2019-2020 academic school year. Although we are going through troubling and unprecedented times, I appreciate the continued commitment of St. Michael's athletes and congratulating each other for their outstanding accomplishments during today's athletic banquet. To give you a little background on myself, as I mentioned before, I graduated from St. Mike's in 2014 before attending Robert Morris University in Pittsburgh to play Division I lacrosse. After 4 years at school in Pittsburgh, I graduated in May 2019 with an undergraduate degree in finance and was fortunate enough to win the school's first 2 conference championships in men's lacrosse. After university, I decided to come back home where I work in Toronto as a hedge fund analyst while playing in the National Lacrosse League for the New York Riptide. When Coach Pescara asked me to speak at this year's banquet, I was extremely honored to have the opportunity to celebrate the accomplishments of current St. Michael's student athletes. Although we are currently under unfavorable conditions and as the coronavirus has heavily impacted many people's lives, the pandemic and the quarantine has actually, in fact, presented an opportunity to overcome adversity and to actually come out as stronger individuals. People always ask me, how do you balance working out at 5 a.m., working till 7 p.m., flying out every Friday, coming home on Sunday, finding the time to get things accomplished, or just finding the energy? And I always have the same answer, and it comes back to sports. Being a student athlete isn't about the awards and accomplishments you are receiving, but the lessons you learned. It teaches you arguably the most important tool in life, the ability to overcome adversity as a collective unit. It teaches you how to use the aid of teammates in achieving both your individual goals and the team goal. With St. Mike's having a relatively challenging curriculum and very high standards, being a St. Michael student athlete helps build time management skills and displays the benefits of working hard together and overcoming obstacles. Whether it's winning a title, studying to pass finals, or working out after school together, you got to use your teammates to push yourself and build that work ethic for future obstacles. As coronavirus has put a halt on everyone's life, it has also presented an opportunity for you to sit back, self-improve, and find time for things in life that you didn't previously have time for. Being a student athlete at St. Mike's is both a privilege and an honor. The honor of being able to represent the name and the opportunity to compete at the highest level of Canadian high school athletics, while the privilege factor represents the expectations set upon you as a St. Michael student athlete. The expectation to not win, but to learn, grow, build relationships, and most importantly, apply the lessons learned in sports to life, which in turn will help you overcome adversity through troubling times as a family. These 10 recipients are considered outstanding graduating athletes based on their athletic accomplishment, outstanding sportsmanship, and demonstrated leadership. We look forward to following their academic and athletic pursuits in the future. This year's outstanding graduating athletes are Ethan Bayfield, Sam Caplice, Riley Doig, Chris Edwards, Marcus Geiger, Nicholas Janakov, Christian Lazarino, Stefano Lapardo, Christian Leon Williamson, and Vincent Marafino.
Unbelievable. And Tavares with another gift. There's the sticks broken. I need a stick. Bobby Haystead ready to go. There it is. Now he's involved in the play, wants the puck, and that little big shot pass right on the tape. And there he goes. Thanks, Bobby.
Well, Mitch, I have to start by asking you about your assist. Most guys, when they break the stick, would head to the bench for a change. You went right to Bobby Hastings, got the stick, ultimately went down and set up the goal. At what point in that play did you realize that you had time to grab the stick and still be very much in the play?
Yeah, I kind of looked down, saw it was broken, tried to hold it as much as possible. As soon as I saw us get the puck, as soon as I looked up, I saw Bobby was already leaning over with the stick over, and I mean, that play all happened because of his awareness there, and it's pretty impressive.
Outside of the obvious that we saw tonight, obviously the power play effectiveness and his
Good evening, St. Michael's College School students, athletes, faculty, alumni, and friends. My name is Bobby Hastings, and I'm the Assistant Equipment Manager for the Toronto Maple Leafs. I'm also a proud graduate of St. Michael's College School, class of 1999. When I think back to my time at St. Mike's, the people that I remember the most are the teachers, the friends, and the lessons that I've learned. The things that I was taught at St. Mike's were the foundation of the person I became, and without them, I would never be able to achieve things that I have in my life. I am forever grateful to St. Michael's and for everybody involved in that community. While a student athlete on the senior soccer team, the winner of this year's award is being recognized for their off-field efforts as a team manager. Managers have a varied task and responsibilities with teams, many of which come on a moment's notice. This manager uses good nature and supportive disposition to improve the experiences of everyone on this year's senior basketball team. This year's winner of the Dobie Award is Nicholas Boatswain.
This multi-sport athlete has earned this distinction by performing at an elite level while outwardly cherishing every season, every game, and every practice with his teammates. As a member of the U14 basketball, flag football, and soccer teams, his desire to compete, the perseverance to excel, and the positive impact on his teammates are never in question. It is with great pleasure to award this year's Father Mullen Prep School Student Athlete of the Year Award to Joshua O'Connor Quinn. Congratulations, Joshua.
It's time that the city of Barrie and the Barrie Colts pay tribute to one of the greats.
As I know he only had 1 point while wearing a Barrie Colts jersey, but it was a legendary assist.
Well, that assist is all over our walls and pictures and stuff like that, just like that Bobby Orr goal.
From the boys from TSN and Overdrive, Noodles, Jamie McLennan, Oga, Jeff In honor of Brian Hayes Appreciation Night for TSN Overdrive, the Barrie Colts would like to present Brian with his own authentic Captain's Barrie Colts jersey.
What do you have to say to the people of Barrie?
Gear up. Biggest night of the year.
Hey guys, it's Brian Hayes from Overdrive on TSN and TSN Radio. I'm here wearing my old St. Mike's gear. I've not worn this in about 20 years since I went to the school. I get the blazer, white shirt, striped tie. Haven't shaved in about 3 days just to rattle the cages of the teachers one more time for old time's sake. But yeah, I went to St. Mike's from grades 9 through 11, 97, 98 through 99, 2000. And then I embarked on a journey in the Ontario Hockey League. I went over to play in the OHL and probably had the worst OHL career in the history of St. Mike's alum. Pretty much the complete opposite of what Jamie Drysdale just did in the OHL. So I faced adversity at a pretty young age because all I dreamt of growing up was playing in the NHL. And I realized around 19 that was not going to be a reality for me, but I wanted to stay in the sports world. So I wasn't going to let my dream completely come to an end. So I determined that I would get into sports media. And I have faced a lot of adversity throughout my career. I've been let go from certain jobs. I had to take jobs I didn't want. I had to work certain hours I didn't want to work. And at the time, it felt like maybe it was insurmountable, maybe a mountain too high. But with the right attitude, the right mentality, the right work ethic, and perseverance, you break through it. And you realize that every adversity is actually a blessing in disguise. And as you look back on it, it's the best thing that could ever happen to you. And every piece of adversity I've come through, and you will get through it, I look back on it and I cherish it because it led me to where I am today and having the ability to live out a dream and have a dream job and talk sports every single day. But enough about me. I am here to make an announcement, and I want to read this off quickly. This two-sport student athlete developed incredibly this year as a member of the junior volleyball and basketball teams, considered by both coaching staffs as one of the most coachable players on their rosters. This young man never complained, always worked hard, and was the consummate team player. It is a great pleasure of mine to give this honor of distinction to Lucas Musselman. Attaboy, Lucas. Congratulations.
So now the big award winner, young guy's had a wonderfully diverse and successful career at St. Mike's. He's done it all. He's a former prep school track MVP, a volleyball MVP, athlete of the year, co-MVP for the junior hockey team. He invented Fortnite. I don't know if he had it. No, I'm only kidding. He's distinguished himself both academically and athletically in a very strong cohort of student athletes in the grade 10 class. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, St. Mike's, here is your award winner, Kewan Doig.
My history at St. Mike's is a very unique one. I graduated from Father Henry Carr, and St. Mike's has always been one of my most fierce rivalries. Under the leadership of Father Ted McLean, Basilian father, great hockey player who was my principal at Henry Carr, I was presented a wonderful opportunity to join the St. Michael's community by Father Thomas Moen and St. Michael's alumnus Dennis Mills after my playing career in Europe had ended. I still remember my first day. It was filled with adversity and challenges as I ventured across the quote-unquote enemy lines of Bathurst and St. Clair, the captain of Henry Carr coming to coach the St. Mike's Buzzers. True blasphemy. Little did I know that the opportunity that was being presented would open the door for a career that I've truly been blessed. The friendship and bonds that I formed, they're strong, and the positive memories are endless. The phys ed staff I remember in particular, I hold them dear to heart. Their support and guidance truly helped me mold my career and the successes I've had shared in the National Hockey League. The competitive nature of this staff was something to behold, from the stacking of the staff hockey team, the white team with Mazzanti, Forbes, and Chittle against myself and Mr. Brisbois and Walshy on the white team, to the incredible bond of the student athletes cheering on our buzzers and majors. The love and support of Peter Philman and Harry McAloney and Rob and the Tunney family at our beloved home rink. It was really one true Double Blue family. These are crazy and surreal times we're living in right now. As I'm in my father's suit in my parents' basement, there's plenty of time for reflection. As I said, and basically I'm in quarantine enjoying my parents in Midland, Ontario, with there's no hockey being played in Los Angeles. And I see this shrine that my mom created, celebrating the 2 Stanley Cups and the victories and the great athletes and people that I had the pleasure of surrounding myself with. And without a shred of doubt, these opportunities and successes revert back to the days at St. Mike's and the doors that were open for me. And what a truly humbling honor it is to be considered a St. Michael's man. It's an absolute privilege to be presenting the Paul Dignan Award. Digger was a true gentleman in every sense of the word, whose calm leadership and presence made my transition at St. Mike's a seamless one. It's also strange that I'd be presenting an award to a golfer, considering I made a transition from professional hockey player to one of the worst golfers on the planet. But this student athlete made the difficult decision to take a step back from AAA hockey to focus on his golf and skill development. This paid immediate dividends, as at the age of 14, he qualified for the USGA Junior Amateur Tournament, competing against a field of under-19 athletes. He was one of the most reliable scorers for St. Michael's in each and every tournament that he played. And the program looks for his poise and leadership in the coming years. The recipient of the Paul Dignan Junior Athlete of the Year is Luca Cimarroni. Congratulations.
The next award goes to the graduating student athlete who best combines athletics and academics. This student athlete has done just that over his course of his career. This year he had a very successful ski season, placing 4th at OFSA, and he has been an integral part of both the ski team and golf teams. Although representing the school for most of the year as a student athlete, prefect, and admissions ambassador, he has managed to keep exceptionally high grades. This year, the Father Mallon Trophy goes to Aidan Bischoff. Congratulations.
This next award winner started his grade 12 year with a promising outlook in 2 different sports, not sure yet which one would carry him forward into university and beyond. Even though he plays 2 of the roughest sports at St. Michael's with a fierceness, he leaves that on the field and has the utmost respect for his teammates, opponents, coaches, and officials. This student athlete is part of the Queens Football 2020 recruitment class and will attend Queens to study economics. Congratulations to the Enzo Montemuro Trophy winner, Joshua McBain.
Here's Spezza. He works it, scores! What a shot!
And he goes across the ice. Spezza shoots, he scores! That had eyes.
My name is Jason Spezza of the Toronto Maple Leafs. I'm currently in my 17th season in the National Hockey League. I was a member at St. Michael's College School dating back to 1998-99. Congratulations to all the student athletes being honored and to all those participated in sports this year. When I think of adversity, I look at it as an opportunity for leaders to emerge. It's a great opportunity to lead your family, to lead your school, your sports teams, and anyone you come in contact with. Leadership is something that always comes up through tough times, and I know that St. Mike's has always provided great leaders for our city and our community. So be a leader during this time of adversity. The Mark Santee Award is appropriately awarded to one of the most natural leaders in the school this year. He led the M Squad, supported intramurals, played on multiple sports teams, and was heavily involved in the student government. He has earned incredible respect from teammates, both younger and older than him. If he isn't playing on the field or on the ice, he's in the stands hyping up the guys or organizing a school-wide event. He was the first overall draft pick in the 2019 Ontario Junior A lacrosse draft and will be taking his talents to the Ivy League to play for the Yale Bulldogs next year. This year's Mark Santee Award winner is your student government president, Edward Q.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the 25th captain in franchise history. From Oakville, Ontario, number 91, John Tavares.
Rasmus Sandin wants the line shot, scores! John Tavares! Captain from the Leafs are on the board. And there is the redirect.
Hi, I'm John Tavares, captain of the Toronto Maple Leafs. I'm honored to be here today to honor student athletes, especially when Coach Ruda came to me and asked me to be a part of this. I want to take a moment just to talk about overcoming adversity, especially anytime that you're able to accomplish something and have success, whether it's in sport or anything in life. What I've come to realize, anytime you do face adversity, that's really the opportunity for growth. In your sport, in your daily life, just yourself as a person. And those are the real opportunities to challenge yourself and better yourself. That's when you learn the most. And that's how you truly grow, just to become better at what you do. So when I've had challenges as a hockey player, whether it's not having a very good season, a few bad games in a row, making mistakes on missed assignments and whatnot, those are the opportunities that I've realized I've had to work on my game, become a better player, and how I'm going to do that. And it's led to me overcoming those challenges to having success, and obviously embracing those challenges and understanding that mistakes happen and you're never perfect in what you do. So just to really embrace those challenges. This student athlete's career brought him to St. Mike's. First following in the footsteps of his older brother, and then to the Junior A level as a buzzer for the last 2 seasons. This year he was selected to represent Team Canada East at the World Junior A Challenge, turning heads and earning Player of the Game honors. As an NHL Central scouting prospect, the future looks bright as he moves on to the NCAA to play for the Arizona State University Sun Devils next season. This year's John Doran Graduating Student Athlete of the Year is none other than Ryan Alexander. Congratulations, Ryan. Hope to see you in the NHL one day, buddy.
Thank you.